So very good afternoon to all. So very good afternoon to all, and welcome all to today's session. I'm sure my voice is audible to you all. Just type yes on the chat box. So today we will be learning about the options multi-leg strategies. That what are the different strategies that you can implement. I mean, in the options actually. So those strategies will be quite helpful and insightful. And I'm having with me Mr. Karan Pai, who will be giving you the this view on this strategies. And so all over this, I'll hand over the session to Mr. Karan Pai. But before we start, we'll just wait for 60 seconds or so. If you have any queries, anything, then you can directly put in the chat box so that our I mean this is exactly like the option strategies. So yesterday, giving you the market overview that yesterday we have seen the this high on this Nifty 50 and followed by the Bank Nifty. Today, if I talk about then Nifty 50 opened at around this 26,248 and it's trading around like this 26,187, and Nifty Bank it is trading around this 53,871 right now. It was open around this 54,338. So this is the update on the Nifty 50 and the Bank Nifty. Now we get into the session to learn about what are the strategies that what we can implement it means during this options specifically. So basically in options, if I talk about, then there are multiple strategies. That means talking from the long call to long put या फिर मीन्स आपको अगर मल्टी लेग स्ट्रेटेजीज डालनी है या फिर सिंगल लेग स्ट्रेटेजी डालना है, सो देयर आर द डिफरेंट स्ट्रेटेजीज, बट इट्स ऑलवेज डिपेंड which are the strategies will be that will be helpful for you. कि अगर मैंने फॉर एग्जांपल लॉन्ग कॉल लिया है तो लॉन्ग कॉल में मुझे मालूम है दैट ओके आई हैव टू जस्ट पे द प्रीमियम, द लॉस विल बी द लिमिटेड बट प्रॉफिट इज अनलिमिटेड. तो एक कॉल का अगर मैं प्रीमियम बाय करता हूँ तो मेरा लॉस लिमिटेड हो जाता है, प्रॉफिट अनलिमिटेड होता है. बट साइमल्टेनियसली अगर मैं बात करूँ, अगर मैंने कोई स्ट्रैटेजी डिप्लॉय की जैसे स्ट्रैडल स्ट्रैंगल स्ट्रैटेजी डिप्लॉय किया, तो वहाँ पे मेरा मार्जिन ज़्यादा लगेगा क्योंकि मैं यहाँ पे सेल कर रहा हूँ. दैट इज ऑन द कॉल एंड पुट बहुत ज़्यादा सेल कर रहा हूँ, तो यहाँ पे मेरा मार्जिन भी अप्रोक्सीमेटली लगता है 80 to 1 लाख तक लगता है, बट मेरा जो लॉस होगा वो अनलिमिटेड रहता है. जो प्रॉफिट होता है जो आपने प्रीमियम पे किया हुआ है, सो दैट इज ओनली प्रॉफिट व्हाट आई हैव मेड इट. So that is the strategy we'll be looking today. And then we talked about this spread strategies also. So already we have done with the three sessions on first of all on the option basic की option होता क्या है, call put क्या होता है, and how you can implement the call and put if you are long in the market or if you are short in the market. Then we covered about some of the advanced strategies that what are the bull call spread or the bull put spread. So these are the strategies what we have learned last week. Now लास्ट वीक वी हैव लर्न अबाउट स्पेसिफिकली ऑन द स्प्रेड स्ट्रेटजीज की स्प्रेड स्ट्रेटजीज क्या होता है एंड कैसे उसको इम्प्लीमेंट करते हैं. एंड टुडे विल बी लर्निंग ऑन द मोर ऑन द स्ट्रेटजी साइड. सो आई एम हैविंग विद मी माय रिसर्च एनालिस्ट हु विल गोइंग टू गिव यू द व्यू ऑन दिस कि एनालिस्ट क्या होता है. मीनवाइल वी विल जस्ट पॉज फॉर 60 seconds. If you have any queries anything, then you can directly put in the chat box. Those who are attending this session from our YouTube channel, तो YouTube channel में live chat करके एक section होता है, वहाँ पे जाके you can put your query that in terms of like the strategy या कोई. So with this I'll hand over the session to my research analyst, and we'll take the pause for the 60 seconds, and till the time you can post your query here.
Rohit, thanks for the introduction. As Rohit mentioned, we'll pause for about 60 seconds. In the meanwhile, I'll tell you why are we conducting these sessions. So if you see, there's a lot of participation by, I would not want to, as people call the retail participants, there's a lot of participation by them, right? And what is happening is people are seeing that options makes you millionaires. You start with a very low margin, and you are like going around in your Mercedes and guys. I trust me, it is all a myth. Yes, options gives you a regular flow of income, but that is subject to you knowing what kind of strategies to put in, how to put in. Usually it's a buy or a sell that people try it out for. Buy your options premium limited and can go to zero, and the probability of it going to zero is higher than it giving some amount of money. That's because as we had explained, if you see the options webinar part 2, he had explained you the Greeks, right? The Greeks come into play, wherein the IV is into play, the delta, theta, gamma are into play. So for the options, and there's a time value, and that all contributes to a time value premium, premium into the intrinsic and the extrinsic value. So for the option to break even, it has to move at such a pace that even the extrinsic value is covered, and these are time bound strategies, right? And they have an expiry date. That's the reason we are conducting this, so that we have a better understanding. Like there was the bull put strategy which was discussed a week back in with regards to the advanced strategies. So had somebody done a bull put strategy, they would have been on the winning side, right, Karan? Tell
Yeah.
me if I'm wrong. The market rallied. I'm sorry. So the market rallied. You might be thinking, yes, I could have taken just the call and I could have made 3x, 4x of my investment. Yes, you are right. But do you know the market has rallied? What if the market had fallen? The premiums could have been such that with the bull call strategy, you could have set up the premium such that the loss, if any, would have been restricted to about 500,000 rupees current, and the upside was about 2,000, 3,000 rupees,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So we are now, as my colleague Rohit mentioned, that we are now into the third or the fourth part of option strategies. And so one thing we'll quickly do is run through what we have done till now. So when we are talking about options, we did speak about the Greeks. We did speak about how the Greeks are going to affect you, and how it will affect you as an affect your premium, and all those things. And accordingly, we also discussed about how the payoff chart actually looks, and we also showed you an Excel file wherein we had prepared a payoffs chart, and we showed you how a naked call or a naked puts payout in case of a long or short position would look like. We also looked at the spreads. Today we will be looking at something different. So now, till now, and my colleague would concur on this. We were talking, what if the market moves in a particular direction, correct? So today we will look at strategies wherein you can benefit moves nowhere. And when I'm talking about the market, I mean the underlying on which we are looking. I mean the derivatives of which we are looking at this point. So कभी कभी ना सिनेरियो ऐसे हो जाता है कि जब भी मार्केट मूवमेंट ही नहीं देता है, या समझिए बहुत एक टाइट रेंज में रहता है, करेक्ट? सो ऐसे टाइम पे हम लोग कैसे पैसा बना सके? तो जब भी हम लोग लॉन्ग स्ट्रेटजीज कर रहे थे, मैंने आपको एक बात बोली थी कि इफ यू आर लॉन्ग एन ऑप्शन, करेक्ट, द टाइम वैल्यू इज ऑलवेज अगेंस्ट यू. सो अगर आप लॉन्ग कर रहे हो तो आपको डायरेक्शनल मूव अगर मिला तो आपको बेनिफिट होगा, बट अगर समझिए मार्केट आपके डायरेक्शन में चला ही नहीं, तो इन दैट केस आपका जो प्रीमियम है वो जीरो होने के चांसेस है. सो जीरो होने के चांसेस नहीं, वो जीरो ही हो जाएगा, बिकॉज द प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ दैट ऑप्शन एंडिंग आईटीएम हैज एक्चुअली गॉन डाउन. मतलब वो जैसे जैसे आपका आप एक्सपायरी के पास आते जाते हो, आई मीन द ऑप्शन जैसे जैसे एक्सपायरी के पास आते जाता है, द प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ दैट ऑप्शन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एंडिंग आईटीएम कीप्स ऑन कमिंग डाउन. सो आपका जो वैल्यू है ऑप्शन का, बाय द डे इट कीप्स ऑन फॉलिंग, उसे हम डीके कहते हैं, या टीथा जो टाइम डीके कहते हैं. So today we will look at strategies on how to benefit from the theta decay, or from the fall in the option premium with regards to time. I am assuming कि आपको Greeks बराबर आते हैं, and I don't need to go. अगर आपको Greek समझ में नहीं आता है, then what we could do is you could quickly go to our old webinar, or I'll just see if we have a slide here. Yeah, just give me a second. Okay, we don't have the Greek side now, but so what you can do is you can go to our previous videos after this video, and you can look at Greeks and then come back to this video. So अगर at any point of time अगर हम लोग कुछ ऐसे बात कर रहे हैं, or you can just type it in the chat box, we'll be more than happy to help you out with that. So that is also another thing that we can do today. So अब जब भी हम लोग strategies discuss कर रहे थे, multi हमारा proper long call का payoff था, and then we looked at long put, and then we looked at trade setups of how to understand all those things, and then we looked at this multiple leg strategies जहाँ पे हम लोगों ने bear call, bear put, bull call, bull put spread हम लोगों ने explain किया था. Today we are looking at a straddle. नाउ स्ट्रैडल स्ट्रैंगल आपको याद होगा हम लोगों ने पिछले हमारे वेबिनार में ब्रीफ एक्सप्लेनेशन दिया था ऑफ हाउ दे वर्क. सो अगर आपको ध्यान होगा सो स्ट्रैडल इज एक्चुअली अगर आप इसका ऑप्शन पे ऑफ स्केल जो है वो अगर आप देखोगे इट रिजेंबल्स द लेग ऑफ अ हॉर्स राइडर. करेक्ट, वो आपका एक इन्वर्टेड वी जैसे होता है. सो दैट इज व्हाई इट इज कॉल्ड अ स्ट्रैडल. एंड अगर आप स्ट्रैंगल की बात करो तो इट एक्चुअली यू आर स्क्वीजिंग द टाइम वैल्यू आउट ऑफ इट. सो इट एक थोड़ा डार्क साइड है वो बट इट एक्चुअली
The humorous side is guy if there's a guy जिसके गले में फांसी बांधा है और उसको गला घोटकर दोनों साइड से खींचना पड़े. So you strangle him. So that's why it's a strangle. It has got two ends.
Yeah.
And straddle, as my colleague said, when you sit on a horse, you sit on the straddle. Right? And if you see your legs are exactly on the opposite on both sides of the straddle. That's if you see the payoff chart. Okay, I'll just show you the payoff chart. So this is how the payoff chart is. It is called that becomes as a straddle. Or if you for better presentation, right? So imagine there's a horse, the straddle, the person sitting. Okay. So that's why it's a straddle and strangle. And actually, not sure of the history behind it, but this is how we learned it.
सो यहाँ पर अगर आप चार्ट में देखोगे आई एम अज्यूमिंग हिंदी एंड इंग्लिश अ मिक्स ऑफ हिंदी एंड इंग्लिश इज फाइन बिकॉज विल ट्राई एंड मेंटेन अ बैलेंस विल ट्राई टू स्ट्राइक अ बैलेंस बट अगर एक साइड में हो जाए तो प्लीज फॉरगिव अस. सो यहाँ पर व्हेन यू लुक एट द चार्ट आई मीन व्हेन यू लुक एट द पे ऑफ हियर करेक्ट सो आपको कई सारे रिटर्न पॉइंट्स दिखाई देंगे. करेक्ट, सो वन इज अ ब्रेक इवन पॉइंट ऑन द डाउन साइड, break even point on the upside, your max profit, and your losses, which in this case are unlimited. So risk management is the most important thing here.
So just continuing on this, guys. So what Karan used to say is, so these the points I'll show it to you on the Excel sheet for better representation. So these points, okay. Okay, the screen is being shared, Karan. Okay, give me a minute, guys. I think there is some issue on the screen sharing. I'll just stop the screen sharing and share it again.
Yeah.
So, I hope the Excel sheet is visible. Okay, so zoom out. Okay, if you see this point, so this is as of yesterday's values. I'm not sure. So 25,950 call and put. So the center point that you see out here, that's the 25,950 strike, right? And when what Karan means to say break even is, let's say when you're selling, आप लोग जो बेचते हो when you're selling, you get the money, right? So that's a premium received. So what is the premium that you receive? The premium that you receive is 170 rupees. I'm talking about per lot it will be into 25, so 170 rupees a single position. So for the market to start giving you losses, it has to move 170 points either side from the middle strike, that is from 25,950. So here are the calculations. If you see, the market will have to go to 25,780 on the put side, or the market will have to go 26,120 and above on the buy side, on the call side, for you to start making losses. Till that point, you're within this tent. You see this white black line and this green red blue triangle. So you're within this tent, and that is your profit that you can make, and that is the extremes of those tent and the intersection of the black line is the break-even point. So the market has to move beyond that to start giving you losses, and as long as the market is within that price range, you will make some money out of it. You will retain some of the premium. The maximum profit could be at 170. That is considering the market moves across and finally in the expiry comes and closes 25,950. Right. So Karan, asking you, when would you want to put up a straddle? What do you think? Since I have given you all the hints, let's ask the audience. Audience, what do you think? When do you want to put up a straddle? I'll give you 30 seconds if you can answer on this.
And just as a hint, I had spoken about time value. So this has something to do with time value.
So anyone in the chat box, if you could put up, when do you think is an ideal time for putting up the straddle? Guys, let's not spend too much of time. So Karan, when do you think is a good time to put up the straddle?
So आशी ऐसा है कि जैसे मैंने पहले भी बोला था कि if the market is not trending that is when I would prefer using a straddle or a short side strategy, because यहाँ पे कैसे है, we will gain if there is a decay, correct? तो मतलब आपको एक बात आपको ध्यान में रखनी है कि जो हम लोगों ने प्रीमियम रिसीव किया है यहाँ पर इन दिस एग्जांपल, as you can see in the Excel file, the premium that we have received is 170, and we get to keep the entire premium if the market stays in the desired range. Now अभी यहाँ पर desired range कैसा है, जैसे मेरे कलीग ने आपको बताया कि there is a break even point, and break even points के बीच में अगर रहा, जो ये बीच का एरिया है यहाँ पर जो आप देख रहे हो, correct, this is your total profit if at all you do not break these lines. ये जैसे ही आपके मार्केट में डायरेक्शन आना स्टार्ट हो जाएगा, you will end up making losses, and from this strategy, as you can see, your losses are unlimited. Now I am emphasizing on the word unlimited because there have been instances where people have been short a straddle or a strangle, and probably forgot that the market was open, and गए उन लोग कहीं पे घूमने को कुछ भी, and then they saw मार्केट में अगर बड़ी मूवमेंट आ गई, then मुझे बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है कि आगे क्या हो सकता है.
So people have lost their entire account margins. They have blown up their accounts because of not being careful about strategies. It's a very high probability strategy, but at the same time, do remember that the losses out here are unlimited. Right? The probabilities range between the 70 to 90% depending, as Karan said. One is the premium. What affects the premium? Delta, theta, gamma, vega, of which the IV, the vega, is the most important. So higher the IVs, higher is the premium that is you will receive. Second, what Karan said, that he expects the market to move within those two extremes of the break even, right? That means we are looking at a scenario where the IVs are high, and IVs are high due to certain uncertainty, some news coming up, and we expect the market to not move beyond a particular range. Right? And that is when it's a very ideal situation to short straddles.
A classic example would be, अगर फेड पॉलिसी है, करेक्ट, एंड आपको पता नहीं है कि ये कौन से डायरेक्शन में जाएगा, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ विच कैसा होता है कि मार्केट में थोड़ी अनसर्टनिटी बनी रहती है, बिकॉज यू डोंट नो व्हाट द फेड चेयर इज गोइंग टू से, यू डोंट नो व्हाट द फेड अथॉरिटीज आर गोइंग टू से. सो दीज आर टाइम्स व्हेन इंश्योरेंस जो है आपका वो बहुत हाई हो जाएगा, एंड व्हेन वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट इंश्योरेंस इन द मार्केट्स, इट इज बेसिकली ऑप्शंस. So, if you want to protect yourself against upside or downside, the seller is going to ask you more amount of more premium, just so that he is also compensated if there is a directional move. So, in situations like these, in situations like these, होता कैसा है कि your options they become costlier. Why? Because probability of an event happening is higher. आपको पता नहीं है कि फेड क्या बोलेगा. There can be a 100 basis point cut, a 100 basis point hike. आपको uncertainty एकदम ज़्यादा है, and these situations are completely out of your control. So ऐसे टाइम पे you want to protect yourself. So these are times when the IVs really go high. And जब IVs high हो जाते हैं and that event passes by, correct? Say for example there is a lot of anticipation around Fed's move, correct? But at the end of the day they had a status quo. तो फिर कैसा, in this case जो uncertainty थी वो पूरी तरह से खत्म हो चुकी है. Now there is some certainty in the market. So your premiums or your IVs they are going to cool off. IV as an implied volatility, IV को अगर compare करना है, if you want to fit in a strategy, the first thing that you have to do is compare your IVs with the historical volatility, HV in this case. HV उसे probably नहीं बोलते, but implied volatility and historical volatility को जब भी आप compare करते हो, that is when you know a particular option is cheap or is it costly. And then comes the actual volatility or the realized volatility. Realized volatility as in realized volatility क्या होता है कि ये move हो सकता था, that ये move हो सकता है, that is your IV. ये move हुआ है, that is your historical volatility. ये move है, I mean after the event ये move हो रहा है या हुआ है, that becomes your realized volatility. So implied is you're expecting something, you're anticipating something. Historical, that is something that is something that has happened, and then the realized volatility, that is what actually happened. So based on these three parameters, I mean the parameter that actual volatility or realized volatility would be unknown when you're fitting the strategy. So based on these two parameters, in fact, volatility and historical volatility, that is when you figure out what strategies work best for you.
And so so the build up to the Fed policy, uncertainty, IV is high, उसके बाद market cools off. Even if it moves in a direction, it will not have a very rapid movement, and because the IV is cool off, the premiums melt, and that is what your profit is.
So one quick question here that I would like to ask all the viewers is, what situation do you think कि आपकी IVs बहुत ज़्यादा high होगी? Now we've been talking for a while. I want you guys to participate and tell me कि at what point, because I think me and my colleague we both have covered this multiple times. कि at what point हम लोग की ये जो है IV जो है बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ जाएगी. So we'll keep going ahead, but आप लोग अगर chat box में type कर सकते हो, that will be really helpful.
Keep going a bit, please think.
We'll take a 30-second pause.
Yeah. My views.
So we have run the poll in our YouTube channel and stated that how you will define yourself experience level in the options market. So 50% says that they are a beginner into the market and 50% says they are a moderate actually. So I believe like most of you are like the 50-50% know about the options ki call buy put buy kya hota hai, and there are the 50% like who says that okay I implement the basic strategy. So before you answer the current questions ki kya hoga in fact, so I'll also wanted to understand those who are attending this from our YouTube channel, just type in the chat box that whether you are a single call buyer या फिर you implement the strategy actually that is on spread strategies. So just type in the chat box. We will just wait for 30 seconds.
So guys, the reason we are asking this is we are creating content, correct? And जब भी हम लोग content create कर रहे होते हैं, we want to know what kind of viewers we are getting, so that we can create content that is more curated or more focused towards towards helping you. So ऐसे सिचुएशन में हम लोग जब भी आपको पूछते हैं कि whether you're a beginner or an expert or a novice in the market. So these are the reasons why we ask you whether you are experienced, what sort of trades do you prefer. Now we know for a fact that selling options is risky, so there might be people who will be playing it safe by buying options. But then there are a few people who have really good risk appetite, correct, and they are willing to go short an option. So these are times when you just want to know that sort of we want to get that sort of data.
The idea here is, guys, I can just tell you go sell this option and do this. Okay, loss ho gaya, profit ho gaya. Axis as a company, Axis Securities, we do not believe in that. We believe in educating our investors, our participants. We don't want you to depend on a Karan or a Rohit to give you our strategies. We want to educate you, empower you. So today or tomorrow, whenever the situation arises, you can think of what kind of strategies could be played out. Right? As Karan said, just continuing on to what Karan said, so when would these strategies, as the short straddle help? The short straddle would be help in events of the quarterly results coming up and some kind of announcements coming up, where there is the surety is not there, but you know that something is going to come out, and once the certainty comes in, the uh, the the walls start cooling, the IV start cooling, and that is where you make the money. Right? Now, exactly opposite to a short straddle is a long straddle.
Now, one thing
Yeah.
that I would like to add is when we are talking about the result coming around and going short, it is not a strategy that we are recommending. We are just giving you an example of when the volatility of a particular underlying will be high, correct, and when the options will be costlier. So these are not typical trade ideas or anything of that sort. So please don't get us wrong. We are here only to make sure that we convey the message correct. सो हम लोग जब भी आपको कुछ स्ट्रैटेजी या कुछ ऐसे ऑप्शन स्ट्रैटेजी जब भी हम लोग बोलते हैं, जो भी हम लोग एग्जांपल देते हैं, दे आर नॉट एक्चुअल ट्रेड आइडियाज. दे आर बेसिकली मतलब वो ट्रेड आइडियाज नहीं होके वो एक एग्जांपल होता है आपके लिए.
Guys, so it is just to get you thinking, okay, क्या situation चल रहा है and क्या option strategy match कर सकते हैं. That is the idea.
So basically, what Karan mentioned, that these are the strategies I can see in the YouTube comments also. Some are type that they are the single leg buyer, or means they are in the buyer but want to be a seller. See, these are the like as we suggested earlier also, that already we have conducted the webinar on the options trading, that what is long call buy or what is put buy. So see, basically, like these option these thing courses are like also the paid courses in the market, but we are giving you the free teaching, so that we want to give the awareness about the options, because as per the SEBI circular, 90% people make the loss in the this in the options market. But we want that at least you all can get educate, and then you take the practice informed investing. Now talking about here, single leg buyer and the Ganesha type that buyer but want to be a seller. So basically, see, once you are a buyer into the market, you always remember that anyhow, if your premium is getting into the, I will say like the in the money, then of course like you'll be making the money, and you'll be in a win-win situation. But I would like my research analyst to tell about the stock specific. What happens if I go into the in the money? What happens if I go in the money into the expiry? How will the delivery happens, or what will be the charges actually?
Okay, guys. So this is a topic which we'll cover in detail in future. But since Rohit has asked us, so what happens? So first thing, what is the definition of an option? When you buy an option, okay, it is. So what happens is it is your
You
right.
agree to buy
You agree to buy, right?
or sell based on whether
Or
it's a
sell.
call or a put.
Huh. So it is your right to buy, but it is not an obligation for the buyer. For the seller, it is the obligation to sell the stock. Now, what happens is in the Indian markets, there are different ways of settlement. Like Nifty or Bank Nifty index options are cash settled. That means what is your profit or loss, you get the amount in your account. But equity stocks are compulsory delivery, which means if you have bought a stock, let's say example ITC. Okay, what's the ITC price? Whatever it is, 350, 400. You bought it for 400, and you bought the call option considering that the market will move. You you expect the market to move, and you bought the call option for 10 rupees, and the market has gone up to 420. So you are in the money, your call option is in the money, you have made profit, right? But this profit will not come into your account as cash. Rather, whatever is the lot size of ITC, that's approximately 1600 stocks, you will have to take the delivery of the entire stock. The delivery will be to you at the rate of 400 rupees. Even if the market rate is at 200 rupees today, I mean 420 rupees, you will get the delivery at 400 rupees. Which means at delivery, you are already at a profit of 20 rupees. But you have to make provision for that 1600 into 4. That's 6 lakhs 40,000 into your account, else you will be penalized. That's the reason one needs to remember that if you have a long option or a short option, on the equity side, on the equity options, you need to square off your positions 5 to 6 days before your expiry, so that the compulsory deliver does not kick in for you. Usually, most of the brokers, including us, the risk management team will send you an intimation letting you know of your positions and the associated costs with it. Because if you're not able to fulfill your obligation, there is going to be a penalty on that. Right, Karan?
Yeah. So, as my colleague just mentioned, डिलीवरी सॉरी सेटलमेंट जो होता है वो दो तरह का होता है, या तो फिर आप कैश सेटल करो या फिर आप डिलीवरी ले लो. इंडेक्स की जब ये हम लोग बात करें, बिकॉज इंडेक्स आप डायरेक्ट ट्रेड नहीं कर सकते, सो इट इज बेसिकली कैश सेटल्ड. बट जब हम इंडिविजुअल स्टॉक्स की बात करते हैं, दे आर एक्टिवली ट्रेडेड इन दे आर एक्टिवली ट्रेडेड ऑन द एक्सचेंज. सो ऐसे सिचुएशन में क्या होता है, इंस्टेड ऑफ बीइंग कैश सेटल्ड, अगर आपने जैसे मेरे कलीग ने आपको एग्जांपल दिया, आईटीसी का अगर आपने एक लॉट परचेस किया, से फॉर एग्जांपल द लॉट साइज इज 1600, सो आपको 1600 आईटीसी के शेयर्स परचेस करने पड़ेंगे इफ यू हैव अ कॉल ऑप्शन. एंड वहीं पे अगर आपने सो बेसिकली कैसा होता है इसका आइडिया, कि अगर समझिए रोहित ने मेरे से आईटीसी का कॉल रोहित ने आईटीसी का कॉल परचेस कर लिया है 400 का, एंड सेटल अगर समझिए कि हुआ है 420 पे, and I am the one who sold him the call. Correct. So after settlement, जब settlement का दिन आएगा, if I don't square off the position, Rohit doesn't square off the position, so ऐसे होगा कि मुझे market से stock purchase करके रोहित को deliver करना होगा, because Rohit as a buyer has the right but not the obligation. But I as a seller have the obligation. So irrespective of whether the I mean unless and until I square off my side, my leg, I have to deliver the underlying to Rohit.
सो ऐसा समझ लो कि मेरा राइट है बाई करने का, एंड मैंने एक्सपायरी पे अपना बाइंग खुला रखा. दैट मीन्स मैंने ऑप्शन ले लिया, मेरे को भी तो खरीदना ही है. आई वांट टू बाय इट. रोहित who's the seller has to give it to me, right? So that is what the right and obligations. So guys, I think that is a topic that we've covered. Now let's come back to straddles. So exactly opposite to the straddle, short straddle is the long straddle. So only difference is, instead of selling at the money, the call and the put, you buy at the money at the call and the put. Situation would be exactly the opposite. So you short a straddle when the IVs are high, you buy a straddle when the IVs are low, right? You expect the market to be in range, you short the straddle, you expect the market to rally or fall. You expect the market to move in a particular direction. You're not sure of the direction, which direction it moves. That is when you buy the straddle. So ये कब हो सकता है? So let's say example कोई pharma company है. There some US FDA results or reports are going to come out. Report is favorable, the market will rally. Right? If the report is bad, market गिरेगा. Report क्या आपको पता नहीं. आप क्या करोगे? क्योंकि उस टाइम पे market will wait for the report. They are certain that the report is going to come up. Report का result is not known. They are certain the report is coming out. The market will wait for it. So the market will be in a range, and that is the time the IVs will be low. You will buy the straddle and wait for the report to be released. The report is favorable, your market rallies, you make your money. The market falls, you make your money. Right? I hope you get the point, guys. So short is when the market is going to be in range, uncertainties are there. Long, when there is uncertainties are low, or rather, as I said, I know that the report is going to come up, so uncertainty is not there. But the result of that, and what will be the reaction of that to the market, you either expect the market to rally or fall down. Whichever direction the market, you expect the market to move big time, and that is where you buy the straddle.
Yeah. So
Sorry guys. So guys, this is, so I don't want to rush into a lot of topics. As we said last time, we covered the spreads. Today we did the straddles. Next we'll do the strangles, and then we'll come to more advanced strategies. So it's like ratio spreads, back spreads, butterflies, iron condors. Very funny names that they have, but they are really useful straddles. So आपको आपके straddle का losses limit करना है, butterfly option कर लो. Losses limited, profit limited, risk to reward ratio, काफी कुछ है. So this is what I would want to end with: short straddle, long straddle. Karan, would you just want to run through it?
yeah. So आगे जैसे मेरे colleague ने आपको बोला कि we'll be looking at more strategies wherein we'll be trying to manage a risk when with respect to a short straddle or a short strangle. Correct. So for the day, we don't want to bombard you with too much info. So we'll do one thing. We'll wait for another 2 minutes max. It's already 3:15. We'll wait for another 2 minutes. अगर आपको कुछ query है, कुछ पूछना है regarding the strategies that we discussed, or regarding any strategy, or if you have any queries about how an option works, the first thing that I would recommend is go back, look at those videos, and तभी भी अगर आपको query solve नहीं हुए, we are here to help you out. And at the same time, the weekend is coming, so what I would suggest is if you go on to our Access Securities YouTube channel, under live section, we have a few videos which we have done over the past. So अगर आपको time मिले, just go through that. So in the coming week, whenever we have our sessions, whenever we are discussing views on Nifty, Bank Nifty, Fin Nifty, so एक आपको एक strike हो जाएगा कि exactly मुझे करना क्या है. Correct. So this is how you will be able to connect the dots and give some make something actionable out of it. So that's it from our side. I'll hand it over to Rohit for further updates.
Thank you so much, Karan, and to our research analyst, who means given detail about like how the strategy you have to follow in the market actually. And I hope you guys are liking the session also that what we are conducting That is on every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We conduct the session at 12 noon. That is on Nifty 50 and Bank Nifty and Fin Nifty expiry. And on every Friday, we take the knowledge session on the means options actually. So I hope you are liking the session. Do comment us so that so we can get the like the more insight that what you are looking out for. So after this session, you can find the links under the this comment section about the session one, session two, and session three. What we conducting on the options specifically. So as Karan mentioned that do go through that session so that in the upcoming week when we are meeting, that's on next Friday at again 2:30 p.m. We discussed about in more detail about the calendar spread strategies or the kind of ratio spread strategies or the butterfly strategies. So these things we'll be covering in the upcoming session. So do comment in the chat box that means what are the other strategies that you are looking out for so that our content team can help you in this. So with this, I'd like to end my session here and thank you so much all for attending today's session. And we'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you on this upcoming week. That is on Tuesday at 12 noon, where we'll be giving you the analysis on the Fin Nifty expiry. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, guys.